It's Mr. Pinecone with the mic in my hand. I ball on a budget, got a bag full of nuggets. Living life to the fullest before I'm kicking the bucket. No time for the haters, I'm the meat and potatoes. I'm the product of Anunnaki and godly invaders. You wanna go down the rabbit hole? Well, come along with me. Let me phone comb. Let me take you on the trip to the Pleiades or the Seven Seas. We can sail them all. Bring your dungarees and your toothbrush, your knapsack. We'll have a nightcap, then I'll bring you back. Mr. Pinecone's come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way.
What's going on, Believers? Hope everybody's having a good evening. My name is Bleeves. This is the nightly update, and we are going to start off with one of my favorite tokens because it got attacked by the European Union. So if you're paying attention to Floki Inu, in the last few days, Floki has been under a massive attack from the European Union. And their attack is because they believe that Floki and their ads, Miss Doge got Floki, are deceiving investors into thinking that you can make billions of dollars or millions of dollars as an investor if you just give Floki a little bit of money. So now they are looking at the securities portion of it, and they are having a very big problem. This is going to end up in court, and I'm not sure how this sways, how this ends, but it is going to be a weird situation, and it's going to be very, very, very tough to see. Now, also, if you are not and you're part of the Volt Army, you should be over at Jake Gagan's right now because Jake Gagan still has an AMA going on with Pablo and Power. And they are talking about, I think they might be finishing it off. You might have heard it in the background right here. I told them I was going to wait, but I'm going to go on at 7 o'clock and try to be consistent because I'm covering a whole lot of other tokens as well. So anyway, the update on Floki. Floki was covered by BitBoy Crypto today, who went on and I don't know how you feel about BitBoy Crypto, but when I say drunken rant, I just assume that he goes on a drunken rant every time, even when he's sober. It's almost nonsensical to see lately when he does that. And cytomex is now working, so that's a very good sign. It would be very nice if we could just get started with Saitama and start making some moves to the upside. But BitBoy got his drunken rant on about Floki. And one of the things that he understood was this is not a security, that, he gets it. He's just an odd sort of bird that has a very weird opinion about damn near everything. So moving on. Shiba Doge. For those of you that don't know, Shiba Doge is now has been consolidating for the last little while. But if you got in, again, back when we started talking about it, then you are feeling very, very good. Now, if you did, what I want you to do, what's going on, guys? What I want you to do, please take your profits, wait, see if you can get back in on a dip. Don't get wrecked off of it. It will go up. It will go down. Shirio is coming, Joni. Shirio is coming. Play the dip. Make sure that take your profits on the way up here. I don't want anybody to get wrecked. And at this point right now, you're going to be 5x. If you got in where you fit in and you did this, then you're up 5x. At least take your initial investment out. Decide what you want to do with that. If you want to go back in, wait for a dip and then go back in. If not, take the money and just sit on it for a couple days, see where this project goes. If it goes back in and you lose a little bit of your position, then you're still going to be great for it. But if there's a dip and it goes back down at all, then you will be able to accumulate a little bit more and even better the position that you have. So take your profit and get ready to play that next part of it. And the the crazy one on the block, it is a non-stop absolute mess. Saitama is, oh my God. Like Saitama is, and it's not. Just so everybody understands, it is not. But it looks like that just the biggest disaster that you've ever seen in crypto right now, just because they can't seem to get a win no matter how hard they try. But here's the thing, they've been way up for a long, long time, and this coming down to earth is an experience that they're not used to. They're not reacting to it very well. I'm going to try to be a little more positive about them because at least we have a functioning cytomex now. Like the whole purpose and the whole problem that I've always had is that Russ was over promising and under delivering, but now he's delivered exactly what he wants. And I'm not going to give them grief about Cider Realty because I don't care about Cider Realty. I think it's a nice opportunity to make an investment, and maybe that crypto pays off, but if it doesn't, eh. At least Saitama has now completed its portion and what it was supposed to do, which is get cytomex launched, and then we can just kind of go from there. That's basically my opinion about it. I don't know what yours is, but let me know in the comments, and hit the like button, please. Let's get some people coming in here. Again, we're going to be a little light staff for a little while because the Volt Army is in the Jake Gagan live AMA right now. If you're a Volt fan and you're missing out on it, they're probably on the tail end of it right now, so go check them out. Then when you get done, you guys come back over here, and I got to say to the Volt Army, you had a tear in my eye a little bit earlier. So we're going to talk about Volt a little bit later on when more of you are in here, but I appreciate everything that you guys said over there, and I'm not good with those kind of things, so let's just say thank you guys. So we're trading SHIB at 2606 right now, 14 billion market cap. If you watch my video today, then you know what I said, and what I said was 2584 is probably your opportunity to get in. Give it a few hours, kind of watch this thing, see if it goes a little sideways, see if it dips a little bit, see if there's an opportunity for you to make a play at a better price, because there's always that opportunity that it's going to come back down here to the 22s or something like that. And when you start to pull out here, then you'll see that there is some opportunity around the twos when things get really bad. But generally speaking, if you get a 22 or something like that, then that's a pretty good one, because it tends to move up quite a bit higher in the threes and the fours. So when you're down here, it's probably safe to say that when the market starts to move, when Bitcoin starts to move, SHIB's going to move with it, and it's going to have a nice up, and you can make yourself a 50 to 100% profit off of it in just very short order. It's Shiba, and it's going to keep moving. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep doing everything that it's been doing before. Shinja, I did hear some rumors that there's a lot more going on with version 2 than we have been thinking before. So we might see a little something come up from Shinja very soon. Now, it's my understanding also they're going to have an AMA. The dojo swap is done. It was my understanding, and that they are going to have a very special announcement on that coming up very shortly. So keep your ears out for that one. Terra. The Terra project continues to consolidate to the side right now. We're going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see it right here. The profits were taken right here. Then you had a little consolidation. You had some more profits taken right here, all the way down to about the 2,000 point. And now you are starting to see over the last 7 hours this consistent upward movement. Now, you're not seeing anything life altering. You're just seeing standard upward momentum. You see here that some people are doing a little bit of selling, but there's not a lot of selling. Now, it's important to note that the tax originally on the sell was 17% coming out. It is now down to 9%. So if you want to make that play, now is a great opportunity to make a play. A very ironic thing that happened just recently, if you go back down and you look at this chart and you look for and if you're looking at the sales, it's not on here before, but there was a massive whale sell, which was right here. I think, no, it might have been this one right here. Whatever, yeah, it was this one over here. This guy sold off something like 80 Ethereum, something like that, and he sold at a 17% tax. Paid over $40,000 in tax on that sell. And this green candle right here was when the 9% started. So this guy wrecked himself because he couldn't wait for one more hour. Like, that's just the craziest, funniest thing that you could even imagine. It's just nonsense. Guys, hit the like button, by the way. Subscribe. Uh, I appreciate it if you do that. And let's move on. We got Helsing in the market. I kind of idle right now. It's down a little bit, but it's at 1865. It seems to be the traction has kind of slowed, but it seems like it's carrying on right about this 1800 level right now, waiting for that next big move to the upside. The new video I think is coming out over the next couple of days. I've been getting rumors of a few things going on with Helsing. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm starting to get rumors from a lot of different people in a lot of different places. So we're going to see how these things play out. Then we're on to Pongo. Now, guys, Pongo, I've been telling you about this every day. I want you to look at that big red candle right there. You see this big red candle right here? This guy sold off 10 Ethereum. And it's still just kind of at the start, but this guy sold off 10 Ethereum, which dropped the price down to the sevens or something like that. It really kind of dropped down a little bit lower. Let me get down here so you can see it because it was crazy. This guy just took all of his profit at this point, and suddenly it's down to 45. Now, if you are paying attention to Pongo, if you try to day trade and if you try to trade with this, then what it does is it charges you a progressively higher tax. That's what the anti-whale mechanism is that it has. So this guy was paying a gigantic penalty, and the penalty kept going up. So this guy thought that he was getting out with like 10 Ethereum. He only got out with like 6 Ethereum. And that is just the greatest thing. That is just the greatest thing possible to me. In my mind's eye, I think that is just awesome. So, do I think Terra can do 1000x? Let me get to that in just a few minutes. Let me finish up what I'm doing here, and then we can talk about that because I do have an opinion on it. Matter of fact, if you haven't seen, I've been getting a lot of attention from RD Price, who is he's the new chief marketing and social media agent for them. I like the project. I'm going to keep covering the project. I think it's a great project. These guys are very professional. Dr. Praveen, again, sold off on some of his Saitama last night. I don't know what he was doing with it. I think he might be getting some back in. He might be getting a little deeper into Terra, as far as I know. But here's the thing. When guys like that, who are long-term hodlers, who are just outright telling you they plan to hold on to this for a year or two, anything could come up, obviously. But if they tell you they're holding on to this for a year or two, and he held on through $77 million with Saitama and ended up only making out with $7 million at the end. So if he's got diamond hands like that, then he's going to have diamond hands on Terrarium, and they are going to go places. And you can mark my words on that one. Guys, again, hit the like button. Let's try to get this thing sent as much as possible. Then we've got... so I've been doing videos because I was going to cover one right here, and I want to talk about it, and I want to show it to you right now. Boba Fett. This is one of those Disney knockoff kind of coins. You'll notice it's going up a little bit in the last couple hours. The reason it's going up is because people are trying to get back into it because there's an opportunity here to make something out of this. Now, the developers, they got ripped off by somebody, so they are struggling just a little bit. So it's going to be just a moment before you really start to see any movement on that. So if you're in that, be into it for just kind of put it to the side for a little while. Don't overinvest. I think we all should stay under an Ethereum on that one. Probably more like half at the max, just to say that we're there, and then just kind of leave it at that for the moment. Then we have Jinjurai, which is starting to add a few more hodlers. We're getting a few more people involved. And it's kind of consolidating across the side. Again, not a lot of activity, but it had a little up when we started covering it a little while back. It's got to have a few more people. It's going to take a little while to get a little sentiment out of it, but it looks pretty good. And again, just like Pongo, it's a pretty pure contract with a market cap and a price that are almost matching up legitimately to the dollar. There's very little in the way of hidden tokens or anything to make you question it. So I think it's in a relatively good place. So that being the case, now one last thing in case you guys did not see it last night, and because I am completely full of myself and I want you guys to see it because I am so just pleased with myself for the design. Here is the Bleeves crypto store, and these are my designs. The Bleeves effect, always being right. I want to believe the Bleeves crypto on YouTube, and it's a UFO with a Bitcoin inside, and it's sucking somebody up, obviously for an anal probe because it's me. And then, do you Bleeves? This is not financial advice, but I'm always right. There are going to be a few more designs coming up. There's one more in there right now. It's this one here. This is not financial advice. I'm always right. Picture of me. I know nobody wants that, but I'm putting it out there anyway. So let me share this with you guys. And I am just not good with this thing sometimes. So there is the design. These are the other designs I want to believe. And these are what the light shirts look like. I am more, just full disclosure, of a dark shirt, dark jersey kind of guy. When I want to get a hoodie, something like this, then this is going to be what I'm looking for. But I want to believe and Bleeves crypto on YouTube. So now that we're done with that, let's shut that down. Let's shut this off and let's get to it. You know what, Believes it or not was one of the first things that I had come up with as a concept and an idea, and it was going to be Bigfoot. And then it morphed into me with the what do you call it, with the UFO, because Believes it or not seemed to be a little bit too old because nobody remembers Jack Palance. But I thought, maybe people would remember the X-Files, and they said I want to believe. So then I got a UFO. Then I got a UFO, and I put a Bigfoot in it. But then the Bigfoot didn't kind of work as well. So we just ended up going with a guy getting sucked up into the sky. So that's the way it ended, and that's what we're sticking with, at least for right now. And then, we'll see what goes on. If nobody buys any, oh well. If somebody buys a bunch, then awesome. But let's go down here and let's start looking here. What are we doing tonight? Cytomex is now working. Just check. That's going to be awesome. If it is working, I'm going to go and maybe join the Shirio army. So Shirio, in fact, one of the things that I started hearing was that it was gaming, and that it was a lot of gaming, and that sounded exactly like what I want in my life is gaming. So let's go check this out real quick. I'm going to go to CoinMarketCap and pop onto the website. NFT trading card game. Oh, this is exactly what we were talking about. Okay, so Shirio Inu is, somebody was talking to me about this, and they were telling me that this was just like what's the game from World of Warcraft? Hearthstone. They told me that it played pretty similar to Hearthstone. So that seemed like it was a pretty good concept. Appreciate you guys. Xenu is going to have a big run. We're going to get a moment where Xenu just kind of goes crazy. Cytomex login background successfully signed in foreground. Just says loading. They finally connection issue iOS. Glad they ironed out all the issues before. Yeah. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but we'll see. Hey, what's going on, man? Leaves on up to the crypto side. You know what? Matter of fact, today we played trivia in my office during the course of the day, and one of the trivia questions was about the Jeffersons, and and I absolutely love it. George Jefferson and Wheezy were just hilarious. Saitama is working to a degree for me. First, you can't swap. You can't swap Saitama for ETH. you only have one pairing showing at the minute, at least for me, Impact XP. That is the one that I had too, was Impact XP. That was the only one that I could do anything with, and it was going to allow me to trade. I was going to trade 1 billion Saitama for Impact XP. And then I didn't do the trade, even though it looked inexpensive. I was waiting because I'm going to use basically every extra resource just to go in on the launch of Cyto Realty, just to see what happens. And if it gets wrecked, it gets wrecked. It's Saitama. Who gives a shit? Like, if I get wrecked on that bag, I get wrecked on that bag. I'm not really worried about it anymore. So driving home from that damn 9 to 5. You know what? That's what I did too, man. I had to drive home from the 9 to 5 today, and one day, I'm just gonna wake up and not have to go anywhere and just log into the studio and boom, ready to go. So that's gonna be a great, great day. I got error trying to swap ETH to Saitama or Saitama to Impact. So uh, I think that maybe they haven't switched everything on. They're still adding, and it's taking just a long time. So I'm just making a guess at that. So I can't really say for sure, but I have no idea. As most of you know, and if you don't know, you're going to find out right now. I have been absolutely ostracized and shunned by that community. They haven't all stopped following me, but Elon Mansour has me blocked. MK won't respond, and he's attacking everybody that I know. And all of a sudden, they went into radio silence tonight. There's no, and I think if you follow me on Twitter, then you saw that I posted one of those. Where are those Weedem boys Saitama chats going on? And there was just nothing going on. So, you know what? Off with their heads, I guess. So if they're not into it, they're not into it. So what else we got going on? We are the knights who say Bleeves, so bring us shrubbery. Speaking of shrubbery, I hit 14,420 subscribers, so that was kind of cool. One day financial freedom, that's what we're all here for. Amen. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am just waiting for that moment to have that. Matter of fact, I talked to, I was talking about it this evening. Like, what is it? What exactly is it that I would need just to wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. And I actually came up with an amount. What's your prediction for Volt? $4 billion market cap. It's impossible to find any predictions like other coins. So that you can't find the predictions, Kyle, because it is, by the way, is Jake, are they finished over at Jake's? Because if they are, just invite them in here to hang out for a little while. But I'm going to say like 4 billion in the short term. For those of you that are Volt curious and are not invested right now, today Voltoshi dropped a picture of a GTA 2 looking game for Volt, and it will be available to play in the next couple days. And here is the best part. This is the part that's going to be sort of game changing. You can use your dust tokens while you're playing the game, and you can convert your dust tokens in game into Volt tokens. So you will be able to take the dust in your wallet from dead tokens and turn it in. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it was very humbling to be over there and listening to them. I just appreciate those guys so much. They've been just incredible. I hold Saitama. I'm not showing you, but there we go, man. I appreciate you. Is it realistic that it can Shiba numbers, in your opinion? Can it reach Shiba numbers? Okay, so I'm not sure that it can reach Shiba numbers. I'm not sure anything else in the meme coin space can reach Shiba numbers. However, if there's one right now that I wouldn't count out, this would be the one, because one of the important things is that when you start watching it, if you're jump over there and tell them that I'm live streaming right now, but that I said that, yeah, I will come in on an AMA with them next week. Absolutely 100%. If you could do that, if you can swap over there. He had a lot of people over there. So Like there were hundreds of people watching his stream, and I don't want to interrupt that, but I didn't want to sit here all night and wait. I told him that I would wait, but then I just figured I'm going to cover other things. But since we're here, we're just going to go ahead and start talking about um, how many zeros do you think we drop on Volt by year's end with Volt? Well, you know what? Shit. Now you're going to make Cody, I swear to God, man, or Allah, or whoever it is that you pray to. I'm not here to judge your prayers. So we're at 64 right now, and that is a 41 million, $43 million market cap. So by the end of this year, it would be safe to say that the possibility existed that we could run all the way up. So a 10x, a 100x. I'm going to predict a 100x, which means 1, 2. There's going to be 2 zeros lost by the end of the year on this one. So, and by the way, just so you understand, 1,000 is going to be just so hard when you already have like 40 million market cap. I was in here when it was a $10 million market cap. So I'm up 4x right now. So I'm already feeling good about my place. So, it's a little different for me. I pray to Odin, my friend. You've seen the spear. Speaking of which, Cody, did you hear about BitBoy screwing with Floki today? They were in the news because now these European the European Asshole Commission, or whatever they're called, has decided that they don't like that Floki was putting ads in the subway and on buses and stuff like that that said missed Doge, get Floki, because apparently to them that means that you are promising them billions of dollars in investment potential by investing into something that could be like Doge. Like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It won't hold up in court, but it would not hold up in an American court under any circumstance. But you know what? It might just hold up in a European court. They're a lot more socialist. They're a lot different in how they deal with things. So I'm not sure how it plays out. It seems silly to us and over here, but so BitBoy Crypto got wind of it and started covering it, and they called it Folk instead of Floki. Like, it was just insane. Like, and they know that they're not checked out. They're just being assholes about it. But they were like, Floki Inu is now to undergo like possible regulation or something like that. And yeah, it's just bonkers. These people are out of their minds. They have no idea what they're doing, and it's just crazy. So they want to somehow regulate what people can and cannot say, and what they can or cannot advertise. So if you can't advertise that, if you can't say missed Doge, get Floki, which is the most simple, innocuous statement that you could possibly make, then you cannot even you can't even say that your burger tastes better than somebody else's. Like, that's just crazy. Oh, just a warning, guys. I had many transitions this year from Coinbase to the bank, and this week Coinbase blocked me and my 14-year relationship with my bank. They closed all my accounts, credit card. Hey, is there any chance that that's a Chase Bank? Volt is not going to Dubai, as far as I know. They've it is Chase. So all right, Chase Chase is full of shit. So it had nothing to do with Coinbase. It just has to do with what they decide. Chase is phasing out, I think, checking accounts, and they're. I'm not sure what their long-term plan is, but you are not the only person that I know that it's going on with Chase Bank. There are many people with Chase Bank where their account is just randomly being closed, almost for no reason. I believe that they just don't want to deal with it. So with checking accounts or anything anymore, I think they're just basically kind of phasing it out, and you just got to go somewhere else. Like, I don't know the answer to where, but it's not worth it for them anymore because their fees. And listen, remember, these people, they made their fortunes, they made their lives off of you, and now they're turning their back on you. That's what a bank is. That's why crypto is so important to what's going on. I don't know if any of you are old enough, and if you are, bless you. But if you ever watched a show called Brewster's Millions, It was a Richard Pryor movie where he had to spend $30 million in 30 days. And the interest on his account was 10%. And when I was a kid, I had a savings account, and the interest on my savings account was 5%. So if I put $1 million in the bank at 5%, then I would make $50,000 a year. I could live my life comfortably as a retiree if I had $1 million. The interest on an account in a bank today is almost zero. That's crazy. So yeah, it's RMS Saitama is still attempting to pump out. Yeah, I love the movie. I absolutely love the movie. Any Richard Pryor movie was good for me, except JoJo Dancer. I didn't like that one nearly as much, even though I know it was kind of a life story for him. Not that he was JoJo Dancer, but he was JoJo Dancer. So I didn't like that one nearly as much. It was a little too serious for me. But the rest of them, Grease Lightning, God, what's the one with him and Gene Wild? Stir Crazy. Oh my God, I love Stir Crazy. And then See No Evil, Hear No Evil. I think it was where one was blind, one was deaf. Oh my God, they had such great movies back in the day. Well, anyway, Steve, to answer your question, they're just trying to get rid of you, and not because it's you. Not because it's you. They're just trying to get away with checking accounts, and they're just looking for any reason to get rid of them. And the fewer they have, the fewer they have to deal with, and they can then move on. And at some point, they are absolutely going to say, "Hey, we're just phasing out our checking accounts. We're not going to do that anymore." That's the end goal. It's the only thing that it can be. Cytomask working. All right, so we're getting people who are saying Cytomask is working. However, everybody who's saying Cytomask is working, Cytomask has always been working. The part that wasn't working was the swap, and the part that's not working in the swap is excuse me, the part that's not working in the swap is the swap pairs you can trade. If you're on Android, for sure, I believe you can trade for Impact XP, and you can swap ETH or something like that. Like that seems to be what you can do so far. So we're just kind of waiting for that moment where it actually happens. Like that, when people are actually able to trade, and when this thing is working the way it's supposed to, then that's when we're really going to see it. Terra Mooning. It looks like, do we have another green candle that just popped up? We sure as hell do. All right, guys, if you are not in Terra, and I can't stress this enough, like I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, and I know you guys are probably all in here, but if you are not in Terra, and it doesn't matter if you have any, and I'm telling you this because I believe in you guys. Take the fun out of this all. Terra is going to be the next big one. It is going to be the next big one. You just have to look at what it's doing. It is doing a centralized exchange, which means that at some point, someday, instead of Steve, who's having this problem over here with Chase Bank, moving his money from Coinbase to Chase Bank, you're going to be moving your money from Terrarium to, I don't know, Wintrust Bank or whatever bank you're dealing with. But that's the way that it's going to play out. Jedi, hit me up on Telegram and let me know what it's about, and we'll see if I can get it into coverage of some sort. But I can certainly look into it and see what it is. Blazing Saddles. Yeah, Richard Pryor was supposed to star in Blazing Saddles. I think he was supposed to be, I want to say, the sheriff, maybe. Guys, I've been in jail for 10 years. Is cytomex working yet? No, it's supposed to be working, but it is not yet working. But anyway, what I was saying about Terrarium, they are going to be a centralized exchange. A centralized exchange is where you go to take your money so that you can then cash out. And at some point, they're going to have a DeFi wallet, which means that you're probably going to be able to use your swapping abilities inside their wallet and send it to the centralized exchange. They are becoming an entire ecosystem into themselves, and they are making themselves their own blockchain. And anybody No, Cleavon Little play the sheriff. You're kidding me. Anyway, that part was written for Richard Pryor. He just couldn't star in it because he was doing something else at the time. But yeah, the terrarium thing, if aside that, you're going to have a blockchain. And here's the thing, blockchains right now are hot. If you go look at the market, like you can really just kind of stick your eyeball in and look at what's like trending and what's sailing and just look up and down the chart. Ethereum is at 1.1%, it's at 14%. Terra is up 55%. Solana is up 16%. I'm just looking at the big ones right now. 12%, 13, almost 13%. Avalanche, Polkadot 15.6%. So in the course of the last week, Shiba, Doge 4%. Oh no, Terra USD is not moving. Terra is at 101, by the way, guys. So let's go back real quick and look at Tether USD. What is going on in this market? It seems to be moving. All right, so Terra is at 101, which means that people are putting their money into it. So I'm not sure what's going on, but you should probably stay alert and just kind of look in case if you have any money in Ethereum, if you have a big amount. I've got a big amount in Ethereum, so I want to be able to pull it out at any point and just put it into Tether at some point, just in case something happens. When you see something like this happen on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, whichever one you use, and you see it go up to 101, that means people are putting their money into Tether. If you start to see that happening to Tether, or you start to see that happening to USD coins, that means that people are getting their money out and putting it into stable, and you should probably do the same, or you're going to get wrecked because something's going to happen. Anyway, Kronos 11.3, Polygon 13.3, Cosmos is up 33. That's the Atom chain. Chainlink is up 14%. Near, I don't know enough about Near, so I don't know if that's a blockchain or not. But I do know that FTX and on down here, Phantom, which is up almost 24%. So all the big blockchains are up. And when you get down here, you're starting to look at swaps, which are probably also running pretty hot. So the blockchains are the hot commodities, and you're going to see a lot of that. So like the best thing to do is put your money into a blockchain, and Terra is going to be one of those blockchains. So, well, shit, Samir, I don't know how much I have. I literally never bothered to check. You have 50 trillion? Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, god damn. Samir, loan me a Tesla. God damn. All right, Samir, you are going to be an incredibly happy and incredibly rich ladies. Samir is yeah. So that's all I got to say about that. Uh, but yeah, 50 trillion means that Samir is going to be dude, your bag is worth you got a over 6-figure bag right now. Jesus Christ. That is so here's what's going to happen to Samir. He's going to buy Saudi Arabia at some point, and he's going to be able to plant a garden there. Yeah, 10 million is going to be just about right. If it hits the way I'm predicting, I don't know. I don't know what your strategy is, but I would think that it's going to do a 20 billion market cap. So it's about 400 from here, which means that I'm predicting you're going to make about 60 million off of it. So shit. Hey man, I do have super chat. So if you want to make me rich too, hey. Yeah, you're gonna make out really well with Terra. Gonna take a little bit of time, but I also they do have a top 15 exchange that's coming up, and they didn't say who it was. It's Gate.io, and I know that they're not telling anybody which one it is. It's Gate.io, but they're probably going to announce it in the next couple days, and they're going to say Gate.io. I don't know which one it'll be though. So check Satan Nobi. Cliff, you know what? I just keep meaning to. I actually have it on a list. I have another one on a list. I have partnered, just so you guys know, every once in a while, when I give you some plays that I'm making, sometimes it's one of those plays. It's one of those plays that I just kind of have to look at it, and I look at them kind of tough. If you were in the Volt chat just a little while ago with Jake Gagan, I don't know if it's done yet, but if you were in that a little while ago, then I like Pablo was telling this story, and he's like, man, Bleeves was the only guy that was with us in the beginning, and he was going hard on me. Like, he was like, are you sure about this? Are you sure about that? And I was sure, because I was asking him lots of questions about everything that didn't add up to me in Volt, and it had a 90% rating, by the way, on Token Sniffer. It wasn't that was the problem. It was like how the tokenomics can work out, because legitimately, if you don't know who's involved in the project, then there's an opportunity for somebody to just say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I was in a project, short story in the background. I was in a project one day, and I put $1,000, and I only had, by the way, about $3,000. I put $1,000 in, so a third of all I had. I stuck it into a token, it's going to remain nameless, but you know what? I'm gonna trade it for fucking tokens from Volt at some point, um, in the next couple days when that game releases. But the token was, I got in for 1,000, and the next thing I know, it starts mooning, and it's worth 4,000. And then my phone rings, and like, it's going up very quickly, and then it's worth 5,000, and it's my brother on the phone, and my brother's got some medical issues, and he was struggling with it. And I was like, all right, so I got to step away for a few minutes. And this was during that time when the middle of the hot market, where everything was just crazy. So I walk away from my computer 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, I come back. It's rugged. The entire thing is rugged. If I would have just cashed out when my brother called, I would have been up 5,000, but I lost it. So boom, it was done. Hey, Jesus in the house. See that? We have all kinds of religions that stop in here every day. Even Jesus himself shows up. Um, I have 45 quad. All I can afford. 45 quad. Are you in Terra? What the fuck? You can't be talking about Terra, because that's like 20 mil. Oh, that's Volt, right? Whew. Dude, you had me come to your house, take your wallet. Oh my God. Yeah, I have 333 quad. Am I even doing that right? Billion. Oh no, I have quintillion. I got a little more than that. But yeah, hey, when you hit $10 million, I'll give you 10. I will take. Hey man, I will take whatever, Samir. Just don't forget me, man. Um, but yeah, so I got it just absolutely rugged, and it was one of those lessons learned, man. Just so when I take new tokens on, and when I take new clients on, when I push some of these, hey, look at that, buy more Terra. You guarantee I'm going to do that. I continue to buy Terra. Um, and matter of fact, I appreciate you, man. Everybody should buy more Terra in honor of Samir here. But start being like Eddie Murphy. um, so when somebody wants me to look at a client, a token, or anything like that, the first thing that I do is I make sure it goes through Token Sniffer to make sure there's not a rug pull. And then after I know that it's not a rug pull, then I want to talk to the developer. So if you hear me talking about a token, I have at least made sure it's not a rug pull, and I've had a conversation with the developer to make sure that I'm in their head and in their space, because they do pay me sometimes for this kind of stuff, and I don't want you to ever get wrecked because of something that I gave you. There's always the possibility things just go sideways on on a project. It's always possible, and I've seen some of them that have. Like, I think Boba Fett. Obviously they're using a likeness that they probably shouldn't, but they're swapping it out, they're changing it, but it's the same thing with a couple of different ones. And you guys, if you guys follow me, you know the ones. They've already made their changes, and they're working diligently on making those things happen. So, they come to me, and as long as they're not a rug pull, and as long as it feels like the development team knows at least what they're doing, or they have good people around them, then I don't have a problem coming out here and saying, guys, this is an opportunity. This is what you could do, especially if it's something like Pongo. I mean, if you got in with me on Pongo and you trusted me at that moment, look how much you have on Pongo. Samir, if you would have gotten in Pongo, you'd already have your 10 million. Not really, but it's funny to say. But anyway, if you got in when I got in on Pongo, and I did it like right away when I was on with you guys, and I'm up 3x on that one right now. And I think like I went in for 1 ETH. So I don't mind telling you. Do an AMA. You know what? I'm going to reach out to RD Price and see if he would like to come on, have a conversation. I'd like to talk to him because he and I are both Kentucky boys, and it would be nice to have that conversation. And maybe we've got some common ground, stuff like that, and then maybe we can do something together. It would be kind of nice to have somebody like that in the space, especially because I'm never going to tell him this, but I am an absolute mark for Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel because I absolutely love that. And I don't know why, man. I'm like a little girl when it came to that show. I loved watching Buffy and Angel, both of the shows. Let's do a Terra giveaway. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I am a big-time Louisville Cardinals fan. If you see me at any time, then you will see me walking around. No matter where I am, I will walk through Lexington with a Louisville hat on because I don't care. Also, I'm big enough that nobody's really going to stop me from doing it anyway. I was lucky and fortunate to have a big upper body. So, Allen County High School. Oh, you're a UK fan. You're one of those big Blue Nation guys. They're not having a good year, right? Like they seem to be kind of underperforming. And by the way, I'm not a basketball fan. I hate basketball. I don't care if Louisville ever wins a basketball game. I would prefer they just archive that program and have a real lacrosse team because my preferred sports are football, baseball, and lacrosse. And other than Michael Jordan, I know I'm up here in Chicago and I watch the Bulls every once in a while, but I just don't get into the games. But, fun for all that. But yeah, big Blue Nation is not having a good time of it. And Calipari's doing himself no favors recently with the way he's been behaving. And it seems like he kind of, it's odd. It's odd because I feel like he wanted out. I feel like I feel like he wanted to stay there forever, and now he wants out. And then in 3 months he'll want to stay. Like he's just kind of got some odd thing going on right now. So I don't know what he's going to do. So after Terra, what are you most bullish on? It's very easy. Volt is the one that I'm most bullish on. And I'm most bullish on Terra, by the way, guys. If we go past Terra, and by the way, I'm more bullish on Volt in the short term than I am on Terra, but I'm way more bullish on Terra for the long term. Like I think that Volt is going to run up to about a $4 billion market cap before it's all said and done. Like I think, hey, what's going on, Crypto Chick? I hope. Did you guys have fun over there? By the way, I appreciate you guys were so gracious and you guys were just rocking. I'm not really into all these spaces, but when I saw what was going on, I think Jake Gagan was absolutely shocked. Was absolutely shocked by the enthusiasm and the level of involvement the Volt Army has. It was absolutely crazy. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Volt Army is what it's all about, guys. That's the kind of positive sentiment. If you did not, by the way, if you did not see it, yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I was kind of putting off talking about Volt until you guys got here. I figured you would come in at some point. 2022 national champions, your Kentucky Wildcats. I don't think there's a shot of that. I don't feel like that's a team that's going to do it. Of course, there's nobody that, from what I saw, is going to do it. So who knows? You might get lucky and see something happen. Bullish on Terra. So again, my number one, very, very long term is going to be Terra for 20 billion, maybe 40 billion market cap. But next after that, oh no, it's a Terra Volt fight. I don't know how this plays out. Um, but Volt is going to have that quick pump action. Um, I get to 200K. I'm looking for one more big run. So, you know what? Tarp has an opportunity. Like, and Justin's a great guy. I think that there's going to be some kind of opportunity there for the whole thing. But the point to it all is, I'm sure that Volt is going to have a run and get to 4 billion market cap. So if you're in right now, you're going to get 100x from where you are right now. But if you're in Terra, you're probably going to get about 200x from where you are right now. Now, I was in I was in the first day, so I'm going to get about a 400x off of it. I think it's very possible it becomes an 800x. So, I mean, just remember that. And that's from the initial investment of a couple $1,000s. So, this is legitimately a huge long-term project. But here's the thing that we're not taking into account. Like right now, at this moment, you have to understand that Volt is kind of a meme token. It's in that meme token space, and it's leaning heavily into it. It's not doxing. It's not worried about all of those, well, you have to be in professional project sort of stuff. It's using the enthusiasm of the market and the community, and it's a beautiful thing to see. That being said, every time you turn around, Voltoshi has a new project. Like, imagine this. Here's what you have to think to yourself. How many people, because if you look at your crypto wallets, you know how much dust and how much just garbage tokens that you have sitting in your wallet somewhere. Just think about that. Oh yeah, yeah, you're going to a 20 billion market cap. But if you just kind of think about uh, the way he stays one step ahead of what's going on. Voltoshi has this thing going on in a couple days where he's going to release a new game, and you can trade in your dust tokens for actual Volt tokens. Now, it may not be much, but here's what's going to happen. Now you're going to have a whole lot of people who are just going to play this game that are going to become even more invested in it. Like, it's going to start going crazy. If Saitama goes 4, I'm gifting you 4,000. Hey, I mean, I appreciate that. I'd like to see Saitama go 4x myself, but we'll see how that plays out. Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. But Voltoshi is coming out with a game. He's going to take all those dust. So just imagine, again, all that dust in everybody's wallet. You're going to be converting all that dust and all those tokens that might still be active that you're not doing anything with. You're going to be converting them over to game tokens. They're going to become your Volt tokens, and you're going to be playing and earning the tokens in there. Like, that's going to start to get really, really crazy. And then you have to consider how many people are going to be involved, how a grassroots marketing campaign works. Everybody is positive and motivated. So just think this through. When Volt launches this game, and when it starts when it starts to develop, and you start to see this thing manifest itself, and you can earn Volt tokens, and you can change your Volt tokens over, this is going to be crazy. I mean, just imagine how many garbage tokens that you are sitting on right now that you do not have to sit on anymore. And even if it's in old, ugly dust wallets that you don't even use anymore, or because you've moved away from, you go in there and you'll be able to convert those into actual Volt tokens. And I'm telling you now that Volt is going to go to at least a $4 billion market cap. It would be foolish of you not to play and at least get a little piece. Just, if you just imagine for a second that we're at 43 million market cap right now, and let's say we get to a 4.3 billion, that's 100x from where we are. So if you have $100 in it, that's $10,000. If you have $1,000 in it, that's $100,000. If you have 500 in it, then that's $50,000. Like, there is serious money that you are going to go up just by having some patience with Volt for a little while, and just giving this guy an opportunity to continue bringing you catalysts and catalyst and catalyst. Plus, they are paying people's utility bills. How many times Do you see that? And here's what you don't see. What you do see is that they are paying people's utility bills. Here's what you don't see. They're not broadcasting it everywhere. They showed one as an example, and then that was it. Now, they're still doing it, and it's still being done, but they're not talking about it. They're not telling everybody all about it. You know why? Because you don't profit off of somebody else's suffering. Like, these are the kind of things. And think about what you're talking about when you're talking about Volt. These are the type of people that you're dealing with. So I don't think I could say any more than that. I think I pretty much nailed it. It's going to a $4 billion market cap. It's going to go crazy. Terra's got. Can you do Terra math 50 trillion? God damn it, man. I don't want to do Terra math 50 trillion, man. It just makes me like, God damn. That puts him at about, okay, Samir, he's got about $150,000 in his bag is worth about 150,000 right now. For anybody who's wondering. On Terra at 50 trillion. I don't know what the price is right now. I think it's 2 trillion. Is it 222? So it's going to be 110 right about now. His bag's going to be worth about 110,000 right now because I think it is moving up to about 22. So Samir's bag is worth 110,000 right now. Samir, you're going to be rich, man. Take me with you. I mean, I'm not gay, but money's money. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. If you hit $10 million cash out 2 million. Take enough for you to wait a minute. If you're going to do that, I hope you mean that you're not taking it out and cashing it out. I hope you're borrowing against it. By the way, guys, if any of you make a giant amount of money, please do not take the money out of your wallet. Please borrow against it so you're not paying the taxes on it like that. Turn it into a stakeable asset or something and borrow against it so that your tax is lower, and then make sure that you hold on to it long enough so that when you do ever take it out, that it's a long-term capital gains and it's a much lower tax rate. Like, please do it responsibly and do it the right way. And sad to say, as a Saitama holder, cytomex is still not working. Dude, cytomex is going to work at some point. Here's the thing. All I ever want them to do was launch the thing. They got it launched. So that's, I know I'm pretty close, man. I know I'm pretty close. Because your 50 trillion is probably like 50 trillion 800 or something like that, or 800 billion. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know the exact amount, and that amount is going to make a big difference. So, how do you make it a stakeable asset? So you would convert it over to like USDT and find somebody that uses Tether as a staking mechanism, or if you wanted to, you could put it into and you could stake it as a more stable coin. Now, and when we're talking about stable coins, we're talking about a more stable coin, not an actual one. There are some that will let you stake USDT or USDC for like up to 10 or 15% interest. So but if you put it all into, say, Bitcoin, and then you stake your Bitcoin, then they're going to give you the same kind of interest. Like, you're going to get a good interest rates. You're going to get a good interest rate on those. And remember, so if you have it and it's locked, and you can use it as staking, and you can earn, say, 10% on it. So off $1 million, you could earn 100,000 in interest in the course of 1 year. If you borrow against that and you have to pay back 1,050,000, then by the time you're done, as long as the market supports you for a long term, for a year, which it normally does, by the way, then at the end of that, you're going to have $1.1 million plus whatever the market bears, which is generally going to be more, or has always been more at this point. Then you're going to have 1.1 plus whatever else you have, and then you can start moving it to stable. Now, and that depends if you just have $1 million. If you have like 5 or 10 million, who gives a shit? Put 10 million or put 5 million into stable coins and then stake the shit out of it at 10%, and then just live off 500 grand a year, and then pay taxes on that as you take it out. Or you can move that over, and you can continue to do that and make that a long-term capital gains, and you just let that money sit there for like a year so that the capital gains on it, I think, is like 11% versus 37%. Play the taxes right, man. Look, pay your taxes, but don't give Uncle Sam easy money. Make them work for it. That's all I'm saying. There you go. Convert to Bitcoin, pay 8%. Whew. Get me started on taxes. My Volt is at 1,600 from 3 weeks ago with a total of 800 with fees invested on Volt. There you go. That's what you should see. Now, when you get 3 or 4x off of that, like when we get up to maybe 100,000 market cap or something like that, take your original investment out and hold on to it for a short period of time, whatever your original investment is, and then wait and see if you can get back in on a dip and buy more and create yourself a better position. That's when if you're doing some trading and you want to do it to your best ability. We take that original investment out. You take your original investment out. That's so that you still got your money, and then just kind of sit on it and wait for a dip. And when you see a dip, go back in. You'll have more tokens than when you started, and you can start making more money off of that. And it grows exponentially like that. Like I can't even tell you how lucrative, because at this point you can't even explain how much money was being made off of Saitama back in like October and November. Just imagine this. There were people trading, like let's just say you had, I don't know, a trillion tokens, and a trillion tokens back then on when you were trading at 8,000 was like, what, 8,000? Yeah, about 8,000. So imagine you go from 8,000 to 9,000 in a night, and then you sell at 9,000, and then you wait for it to go back down to 8,000, which only takes a few hours. And then the next thing you know, you're going back up to 9,000. You're making $1,000. Well, a trillion, I guess, at that point was 80,000. So imagine you're making $10,000 a night just by pumping that way. There were many people doing that. Now I was doing it, and I only had like 100 billion, and my 100 billion was, I think, like, a couple thousand. Like it really wasn't that much at the time. But I kept making money after money after money, and like I would make a couple $100 every single day on Saitama, and then I would just get more. And by the time I was done, I had like 400 billion tokens, and like I have over a trillion now, but I had 400 billion at the time just from playing the dips on it, and not for the purpose of making money, but I was still making money even. So like it's crazy once you start to see a pattern and it develops and you can play it the right way, then it just gets crazy if you're doing it right. I tried to buy Terra since yesterday, set slippage to 12 to 18. Stupid unit keep NSF when I'm only half of my ETH. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the slippage on there. It seems like it's just going up. Is it a good time to buy Volt? All right, Volt people, close your ears because I'm about to look and get honest. Is this the right time to buy Volt? Let's look at Volt, and no. You know what? It's going up again. Here it goes again. So you just kind of look here. This was at 32 a couple days ago, and now it's at 65, and now it's got a big green candle like it's headed up again. They just had a big AMA with Jake Gagan. So it is entirely possible that we're going to see another run like this. These consolidations are great, but this thing has not stopped. It's just going and going and going. If you're familiar with what happened with Saitama, the same thing is happening here. So like that's what you're seeing. It's just crazy. So is it a good time to buy Volt in the long term? Here's what I'm going to say. Yes, because at 43 million market cap right now, you're going to be looking at 430 million market cap very soon. They're going to be looking at $1 billion market cap. So it's a great time to get in. But if you have an opportunity to get a dip off of it, then I would wait for a dip. But otherwise, as long as it's a long-term bag, you're not going to be mad if it dips 10% in a couple days. So just go for it. Hey, what's going on, Delicious? Kyle, is 12 trillion enough to profit decent in your opinion on Volt? So 12 trillion is probably, what's that, like $100? Like I just kind of see this stuff as the number of tokens to me doesn't really do a lot. Like I don't understand sometimes what the, just give me a second to kind of look at it here. That's million, billion, trillion. All right, so if you have 15 trillion, and what are we trading at, 65 right now, that means it's worth about $100 or so, right? So if you take $100 and you multiply it by 100x, that means you're going to get 10 grand off of it. So if that's what you got and that's where you're sitting, then make 10 grand off of it. Just make sure that when you're doing that, that you spend your money wisely when you make the money. Make sure that you're responsible. Make sure you take your profits on the way up, and make sure that you don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Basically, as long as you do that, and as long as you put yourself into good projects, and Volt is a good project, Terra is a good project. As long as you're putting your money into these projects, you're going to make out. And god damn it, Volt is going to go on another run again. Son of a bitch. All right. So guys, if you are watching, the all-time high on Volt is 66.12, and it's son of a bitch. It looks like they are about to hit the all-time high again, and that is because look at this. They are just going and going and going, and sellers get wrecked. Man, these guys are so these guys have an extra 23rd chromosome, I guess is all I'm saying. Yeah, you could buy on BSC, save the gas fees. BSC is only like $3 for a transaction. By the way, does anybody know, am I now scheduled on Jake Gagan next week or something? What was Jay Johnson talking about? Oh, let's go kick around a little bit. Floki is still up, by the way, 17%, because guess what? Any news is good news sometimes. And they've been trending sideways. Oh, you know what? It did have a little dip after, because it had a big boom yesterday. And that dip right there, that's when the news came out that the European Union was looking at them. So F those guys. Also, guys, just so you know, and I'm going to, full disclosure here, okay? I'm representing Shiba Doge, and I took a long time talking to them before I decided to take them and start looking at them, reviewing them, investing my own money, stuff like that. I'm very happy that I did, and it's about to get crazy with Shiba Doge, I think. Other than what's going on, he wants to do a live with you and Pablo. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. I have no problem with that. But Shiba Doge is just like, so. Has anybody here seen Tupac Shakur, where they do the 3D, what do they call it, the 3D hologram? Has anybody seen the Tupac Shakur hologram, or the what other holograms do people do now? There was a Michael Jackson hologram at one point, where they have them in concert, doing something like that. If you have seen that, then okay, so here's what's going on. In a couple weeks, Shiba Doge will have one, and it will be a hologram of Elon Musk, and they are working on it with SpaceX to get it done. So it's gonna be crazy. Like, they're sponsoring, and it was very expensive, as a matter of fact, because I'm with their partner program. Like, they 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 had one of their people reach out to me this month and say, hey, we had to get rid of a bunch of our influencers and stuff because they are um, um, listen, this is really expensive what we're doing right now, and it's going to pay off massively. So we would definitely, if you got a big bag already, get a bigger bag, blah blah blah. What they were saying was basically, this is the moment where Shiba Doge, even though it's mooning right now, wait, see if you can play a dip on it, see if you can get in a little bit low. But they're going to have a 3D hologram of Elon Musk himself in his voice. He is going to be hosting this event that they're having, and it's going to be just absolutely bonkers. And they're going to have the approval of SpaceX. Like, they're doing this thing is going to be crazy. And it is almost bonkers that the people of SpaceX are helping to make this happen. So you're about to see something really interesting happen with Shiba Doge. Hey, good night, Joe. Have a good evening. $5 dinger. Thank you, sir. I don't know how to say your name. I hope I'm saying it right. Suvanasing. I hope I'm saying that right. I bought Volt last week. During dip, 981 quadrillion, and I'm holding it, dude. If you got in on the dip, then that is absolutely awesome. Anyone else seeing a crazy spike on Saitama on Dex Tools? If it's a crazy spike and it's Saitama, it's not real. Not yet. Holy shit. Well, Saitama just rugged for a second. Yeah, so this tiny sale right here. All right, so you see this transaction right here. I think that one of the bugs in Dex Tools is if you sell and like there's something wrong with the way the fees work. Sometimes when the fees are way more than the value that you get off of something, then it drops the price to zero. It's just one of those crazy bugs that occurs just very, very infrequently. But that is hilarious to see. Um, Anyone else seeing a crazy spike? There we go. Meta token project, your thoughts. So, from what I saw, and I didn't watch the whole thing from Tammy the other night, but from what I saw, it looked like this was kind of it was kind of a noble project. And the lady that was, who was the young lady that was on that? I have to go back and find her name. And of course, for the life of me, I'm not going to be able to find it. Um, who is the founder? The young lady who was the founder of it. She was on, or she was a representative for them, something like that. But I think charity is great for anything. How far is that going to get you, though? The one problem that I have with it is the nobility of it has to have a purpose. So, like the Metacopter, things like that, like, what purpose, everybody just giving money to something that never gives you a return is an unsustainable business objective. So we have to be careful when we see something like that. It's the same thing with Lilly Finance. Like it's very difficult in the medical field. Although very noble, it's very difficult. How do you um, 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 how do you cope with the price jump how do you continue to get people to invest in something like that? Because sentiment, like right now, if they focused on the Ukraine, then people would start investing like crazy and people would make money off of that. But then you don't feel good about it. So like it's just one of those things. Like I always have I always take I don't dislike charity. I don't dislike charity in any way. I don't understand the long term purpose behind something that just focuses entirely around charity. So I really would like to see them do something to create a hospital, share the profits of a hospital, use that money to make something, and that would make me feel way better about the project in that long term period. Uh, you might be right because there is a big announcement tomorrow, and I don't know what the announcement is. A Gate.io. I'm not sure. I have no idea what they're going to announce Gate.io, but it's probably going to be something big. Gate.io. For Pongo, a whale sold out and it decimated the price in half. Autolicious, if you go look at it, it took like 2 hours and they bought that whole thing back. And somebody told me that it was happening, that this whale was selling out. And I was like, oh my God. And I looked over and the price was, I think like 48. It was down here. It was 45.91. And I was like, oh shit. And then I was thinking about buying just putting another Ethereum in just because at this price point, it's just ridiculous not to, because I know the guys behind it. And I know that very shortly things are going to go kind of crazy because they've got some stuff working. And so then I got called away because I was working and doing something. And then 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes passed. And then by the time I got from here to back to my office, which was around here, it was back up to like 8,000. And I absolutely missed that entire thing. Oh God, I was so upset about that. Yeah, and Samir, I have no idea who it really is. Like I have no idea. Um, Yeah, NFT online games also helping many people medical in Guatemala. And again, like it's always a good thing. Like if you can create gaming and stuff like that, I'm not sure how much NFT gaming is going to survive. I think the NFT portion is probably going to change. Guys, what's the slippage on Volt right now? Because I've got my bag held, so I have no idea what the slippage is to even buy right now. Uh, Shit, I'll just jump in chat. All right, I just asked for help. Somebody's going to come over here um, from their chat. He's going to come over to help you and let you know what the slippage is. There we go. Had to send them a link real quick. I wonder if Shirio will have a Riley Reid NFT. PC at that. Nope. You know what? I don't know. Like, what are they? That seriously, that one picture that the picture that you sent me the other day, Cody, was the second picture that I had ever seen of her. Because I had no idea who it was until you sent me that picture, and then I realized that was the one from that meme, which is why I made that meme of Slappy Crypto or whatever the fuck his name is, Classy Crypto. Bleeves, how are you finding those projects so early? Is there some kind of launching spot? They come to me sometime. They come to me, and when they come to me, then I kind of vet them and look at them and decide whether they're right. It's not, it's not my decision on what's right for you, but it is my decision on what's right for me. So, I get a lot of tokens that come up to me. If you saw my email, you would lose your mind with the amount of tokens and the amount of NFT projects that are just filling up right now my email. This one wants me to join their crypto derivatives company. This one wants me to do their NFT project. This one wants me to let them do an advertisement in the front of my video, a 30-second ad, and they'll pay me $1,400 per week. This one wants to do the same, and they're offering $1,200 per week, guaranteed 4 week. This one wants to do a video series if I approve them, and I haven't approved them yet. And that is just from yesterday and today. So it's just crazy. All right, here we go. Volt Army's here. What's the slippage? We need to get the slippage here. 12 to 15 slippage for Volt. There we go. All right, so Riley Reid was promoting Shirio. Bro, every man has had I have not had a Riley Reid moment. I'm God, gonna have to look her up now, but to this point, I have not had a Riley Reid moment. And just saying, I'd imagine 90% of those are rugs. The weird thing is, like, a lot of these are not rugs. Like the one thing to understand about crypto that most people do not get in the long term is that crypto really is. It is the God damn it, Cody. What did we call this the other day? The GoFundMe. Crypto is now the GoFundMe of today. So if you have a business idea that you want to start, something that you want to have as just this big business idea, then that would be the thing to do. Like just go out and start your own crypto. Don't go out and just find a business. Like help. It's basically crowdfunding. Isn't that what originally was called before it was GoFundMe? It was crowdfunding. It's now you can now crowdfund your own business. So let's say that you can look at a crypto and you can find out um, what kind of business do you want? Do you want a cleaning service? Do you want to, if you want to do a cleaning service or something like that? Like, I mean, if you could find enough investors that would fund your cleaning service just so you could buy the stuff for you to clean your stuff, all you got to do is then manage it. And you may not ever get anything out of it at some point. Like those rug pulls are not really rug pulls. The person's just done whatever it is that they were there to do. And you never know. Um, Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you, man. We had somebody in here. They were a Saitama investor, and they were going to move into Volt. So we wanted to make sure that they knew what the slippage was so that they got it right so that they could get into the project that is going to the moon. By the way, 4 billion market cap. You guys got to get there. I got so many people pumped up and ready for a $4 billion market cap on Volt that it is getting crazy. And once we hit a $4 billion market cap, Pablo is going to buy a new microphone. For fuck's sake, he needs a new microphone. Any thoughts on Libero Finance? Leister put me on it. He always comes up with some really glamorous sort of picks, man, that I seem to like. He talked to me about that the other day, and I we were on a podcast, and it was like, I don't remember what were we talking about? It was he was very big on Libero for sure. So he's holding 3 quintillion Volt. What do you think I'm sitting at 4 billion market cap? Where do you think I'll be sitting at 4 billion market cap? Okay, hold on. I can tell you you're sitting on 3 quintillion. So at a 880,000. Is that right? You're gonna make me math. And because I'm a nerd, now I have to do it, and I have to figure out what the number is. So if you are at 3 quintillion right now, and we do a market cap of 100 from here, then that's going to be 200,000. 210,000 would be what your bag would be at that point. So boom. You ain't rich, but you ain't lying. All right, so it's my understanding that I'm gonna be on Jake Gagan next week. Is that what we're doing, Volt? I'm gonna go on here with Jake Gagan and show him exactly what is up. I'm gonna go absolutely bonkers hype on his ass. You know what? I have not. This is the saddest thing that I could ever say. I never watched Jake Gagan until just recently, because like I did not know so many people in this place. I had no idea. I didn't know who Classy Crypto was. I didn't know about any of these guys. Like these guys that have become my fast friends in the last, like Cody, Awesome Austin, Ryan Patrick. I didn't know any of these guys, man. I had no idea. Thank you for the $20 shout out, man. I appreciate you, Rupesh. I didn't know who these guys were at all. And then Jake Gagan was the one that was kind of on the fringe, along with a guy named Austin Hilton. Now, to be fair, I didn't even know who Zach Humphreys was or Your Pop. Like, I didn't know any of these guys. I didn't even know who Adam Shelton was. I stuck to my lane. I did my videos. I didn't worry about what other people were doing. And I didn't even search to see what I could be doing better and stuff like that. Like I was just trying the best I could, learning my own way without having my decisions made for me by somebody else by looking at their opinion. And so I was out of this loop. Then I realized there was a loop because all of a sudden people just started watching me. And then the next thing I know, and it built up, but people just started watching me over different projects and stuff like that. And then the next thing you know, I'm looking at all these people and they're saying, you should watch this guy. You should watch this guy. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm going to start doing it. So then I started doing it. I started learning who they are. And then at the same time, the guys from Sandstorm hit me up and they were like, hey, man, why don't you come over here and hang out with us? And we'll shoot the shit on camera, on live streams and stuff. So we started doing that. And then the other guys started coming in. By the way, tomorrow I will be on a roundtable on the Sandstorm talking about crypto, and I don't know what the topics are, but I believe that Teddy Ganja is going to be there. Austin Hilton's going to be there. Awesome Austin had to call off, but Rodney from My Crypto Journey will also be there. I'll be there. I'm not sure who all's coming, but there was a list. I think Crypto Queen Tammy is going to be there as well. It's going to be the tried and true group of people that that you might know. So we're just gonna be talking about the whatever it is that becomes the topic is what we're going to be talking about. Like why Austin Hilton got $100,000 off of one Ethereum. God damn, Austin. Man. I just want one of those plays. That's all I need is one of those plays, and I'd even take up smoking weed if it came down to it. I don't think you could say that. Actually, I don't think you're allowed to say that on YouTube, which is good because I wouldn't really do it. But you know what I mean. But anyway, there you go, man. That is the great thing. And guys, they are talking about it right here. Zero promises, 100% delivery. That's what you're getting from Voltoshi, nonstop every single time. He doesn't promise anything. He just delivers. That's why you should be invested in Volt. That is absolutely the reason. But anyway, so do we have any other questions? Anybody else? As far as Pongo goes, Pongo have good days. Pongo have bad days. But shit, man, we were gonna watch Volt hit the all-time high, and then some Chads came in here and sold. DCEB, are you? Ooh, god damn it! That's a crypto.com. That's God, what is it? That's one of those like contract wallets that you see every once in a while. Turds. All right. Any idea on how much Cyber Realty will be? I don't know what Cyber Realty's price is going to be at the launch. Russ said that they will not launch the contract or they will not announce the contract until 30 minutes before. But here's what I'm going to do. We should all just kind of get there. We should all just kind of get there and find out half hour before. Look at the contract, see what the math is going to be, and then try to figure it out. I think Scott Herman's going to be having a cast, and you know what? Scott Herman might be there tomorrow as well. So we'll know then. He's one of those guys. Justin from TARP will probably get in on it, and we'll figure out what the numbers are 30 minutes before. Yeah. You should post your Twitter in the description so people can get your rants and updates. Yeah, I think I actually have it in there. I just have it in there way too far down. Yes, we can do a stream on that on Friday. So what if I'm not a YouTuber? How do I find a new project like Pongo? Follow a YouTuber like me. Really, you just have to have somebody reach out to you. I mean, like that's what it all comes down to. Find people who are invested early on projects. Find people. One of the best things I think that you can do is go to Pongo, kind of look through the top wallets over there, try to figure out like who were the first people in. Like in this case, Pablo Crow was one. So follow Pablo Crow from Volt because he always comes up with. He always seems to come up with a decent project. They're not always 100% projects, but they're always different things to keep him working. Have you researched Goat Token? Holistic Crypto has been talking about it. I don't follow Holistic Crypto. I mean, I do follow him, but I don't see his videos all the time. I just watch the Volt related ones because like my time is limited and I have to kind of cherry pick what I can do. So I haven't looked. But now that you mention it, now I'm going to go look. So I'll let you know tomorrow what I think of it, if there's anything to it in this. Well, maybe not in this one because I'll be on the other one. But if I like it, then I'll happen to mention it. I appreciate that. I do appreciate anybody who supports me. I appreciate you so much. It does not fall on deaf ears. As a matter of fact, people ask me all the time, like, why do you have tears in your eyes? I'm like the Volt people. Are you just kidding me? These guys are like the greatest army of people that have ever existed. And I appreciate I am very uncomfortable with any sort of fame, and I know I've said this before to people. It's just it makes me kind of nervous. So I'm not great with it, but um, it makes me feel about as humble as it gets. Are you going to Park City Farmers Market in Utah with the Volt Army? I don't have that kind of cheddar. Or let me rephrase that. I have not cashed out that kind of cheddar so that I can do that. Now, if you guys go to 4 billion market cap, then I would absolutely be there. But it's going to take me a little time before I have that kind of just get up and go money. I don't have it yet. I still work a day job. I'm actually in a spot where maybe I could quit my day job. I probably make enough off of crypto now that I wouldn't have to do it. But just in full disclosure, my daytime job pays me a lot of money. So, and I don't work like huge hours. So I work in an old building, which is why you see that wood panel behind me all the time. I work in an old building, but I don't have a low paying job. So, you know, if somebody wants to give me 10 grand a month, then I would have way more time. Please all be right. So I watched you when Floki was at 30 million market cap, and you said that Floki would run huge, and it did 3.5 billion. Rob, you dude, understand, man. That is exactly what I'm talking about. If you make my plays, when I give you these plays, if you just have that little amount, then you might change your life before you know it. In this case, Rob at 30 million got 100x, or what, 150x, 130x, something like that, 110x. Let's just call it that, off of Floki, which is a big play. So that's up to 100 grand. Is Volt doxed? Is Volt doxed? No, it is not, and it will never be doxed. Volt is not about being doxed. It's about performing and getting results and having a very positive and straightforward community. Pablo Crow is about as doxed as it's going to get. I'm part of the community, so I'm going to be about it. I am as doxed as it gets. I am very easy to find online. I am not hiding from anybody. So, but I'm not the developer. The developer, Voltoshi, will never be revealed. Just like Shiba. That was the whole idea behind this. There's a concept involved with Voltinu, so you'll never know who Voltoshi is. All right, congratulations, man. You're about to go to the moon. Who is your favorite Ninja Turtle? Leonardo's the one with the blue. Which one wears the red? That's Raphael, right? Whoever the red one is going to be my favorite. But the only Ninja Turtles that I really like, I never watched the Ninja Turtles as a kid, but I did watch when they made fun of them on YouTube, and they had them as like the Hood Turtles. That was hilarious. When it comes to weapons, if I had to choose a weapon, I don't know who uses what, but whoever has the bow staff, even though it's probably not the most efficient weapon, is still the most elegant one of the group. Pongo came and showed love to the Volt Army, so we showed the love back. Absolutely, man. Volt will do bigger than Floki. I am thinking 10 billion is possible. Rob, I don't think 10 billion. I think 4 billion is about the cap, because I think this market is changing. And I don't mean that 4 billion is the all-time cap. I just mean that in this cycle, it's probably going to be about 4 billion. It depends on what Voltoshi pops out as his next big thing. The game is coming out in a few days, and you're going to be able to trade in your old dust tokens. I mean, who does that? That is absolutely insane. You can trade in your old dust tokens for real Volt tokens by playing this game. So, you're really this guy is basically fixing some of your crypto wallets. That's kind of crazy. That's going to make a lot of people want to invest in it, by the way. Splinter is where it's at. Yeah, Splinter. My favorite. That's my favorite Ninja Turtle. Usagi Yojimbo. Now that's a rabbit, right? Yeah, 4 billion is big. 4 billion is a big market cap. If I say this based on I'm more pragmatic about my approach. I believe that we got to 3 trillion market cap, and now come on, Buzzkill, my boy. There's my boy. Um, I say this as a pragmatist, thinking that 3 billion or 3 trillion as a market cap is not sustainable because we don't have that much money in. What we need are more Bitcoin ETFs to be traded in the United States, which is going to lead to more mass adoption. If 4% of the world is into crypto, that 4% is more libertarian than most people, which means that you're going to have a more discerning sort of eye to get it into the masses' hands. And that being the case, it's very difficult until you start to have that sort of commonplace knowledge. And it's nice to put the machines everywhere, and you can buy Bitcoin and have those, but those are not how you're getting mass adoption. The way you're getting mass adoption is by people seeing it and being able to easily invest. And let's face it, if you have to take your money and then you have to go buy like a swap is complicated as hell for a brand new person. That's not the easiest way to invest money, and that's not even like you have to do a lot of hoop jumping in order to make something happen. So I think that Bitcoin ETF adoption, and then when the Bitcoin blockchain comes out, all bets are off. But until then, I think we're sitting at around between 2.5 trillion and 3 trillion as the best that the market is going to do. So my long-term answer, or my very complicated answer, is I think 4 billion is going to be the cap. If something great happens, like if we get to and I don't know what it's going to be called, by the way, but let's just say, for example, I don't know, Voltoshi announces Volt Chain, a new blockchain based on the Volt technology, or Shock Chain, or Charge Chain, or something like that, or maybe just Charge. If a blockchain were announced, then that would be altering in some way. That would be one of those situations in which you're just like, oh my God, this thing is about to explode. And that 4 billion might go up to about 7 or 8 billion. So, it's just a matter of getting to those hurdles and having them happen at the right time when the dominoes fall. And so far, the dominoes have fallen into place every single time. So if the dominoes continue to fall in place like they've been doing, then you know what? 8 trillion, 8 billion. That's not a hint because I don't know anything and I don't know who Voltoshi is. So I would not know anything about Volt Chain or any other potential names for each chain that there may be. I can tell you that if you were looking, Ohm is already taken, but Volt Chain, Charge Chain, Shock Chain. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you can put it together. So I'm not sure how it's going to end up, but I mean, let's just say that time is going to reveal a lot. Let's see. I found your show about 1 month ago. Love your show. And the one thing I learned is that you are always right. Keep up the good work, bro. And you know what? I keep trying to say it because I block myself into this because I'm just, I think it's hilarious to say that because I told Brad over at the Sandstorm one day, I'm like, dude, every day somebody comes into my chat to tell me I'm not always right. And then I just send them a response. Yes, I am. Just to mess with them. And sometimes they argue with me. Sometimes they just kind of let it go. But then I just started sending him every day. And it seems like every single day somebody's in one of my videos being like, you're not always right. Right. Actually, I am always right. Why are you doing this to me? I'm offended. I need a safe place or safe space, whatever you call it. So yeah, they crazy. It's just crazy shit. I know I'm not always right. So in order to not be always right, what I try to do is the best I can to research the information for you so that I can give you the best guess of what's going to happen with that information. Of course, if I give you you need to buy this today and Russia attacks the Ukraine or some shit like that, then it's going to make me look bad. But generally speaking, I'm going to try to be as right as possible. I'm going to look for the signals. I'm going to look for the hints that are going to give you the information so that you can make the best informed decision. And if I miss it, I don't try to be cheap and give you the see I this if I miss something, then I just miss it, and then I just try not to cover it, because what I don't want is I don't want to bring you on to something and say, hey, this token is great because of for whatever reason, and then the next thing you do is put money in, and then it goes down 50%, because then you're just looking at me like, you asshole, and I don't want you to do that. So sometimes I pass them up, like Dogelon. That Dogelon Mars is Dogelon Mars is having a moment, and they've got Doge, they've got Elon, and they've got Mars. They've got everything that he keeps posting and talking about in them. So, like, they kind of cornered the name, and every time he posts about Doge or something like that, they just jump on it and capitalize on that moment. So they're having a moment, but like every time I feel like, man, if you look at the chart, their chart is abnormal. So if you look at their chart, it's like, man, it just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Like their accumulations are kind of low, and it's just, it shows you what can happen with tokens. And so I don't talk about them because I just I keep thinking they're due for like a real reset, and they just never do. So, oh well. All right, guys. I think that's it for the night. We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes, and now it is time. My dogs are staring at me. It is time to go walk these crates. Yeah, it's unpredictable. You just never know. And when you're reliant, like Floki was for a long time, when you're reliant on an Elon Musk tweet, then it gets a little bit weird. I mean, and I'll tell you this: if you follow Elon Musk, and everybody who is a meme token or shitcoin or whatever you want to call it, anybody who is an investor in the meme coin space, you should be following Elon Musk, and you should have his notifications on, or you should find a special thing that will just wake you up out of a deep sleep to let you know that Elon Musk tweeted, and then try to use hot words and stuff. And if he posts Floki, then your ass better buy Floki in the next 5 minutes. If he posts something about Doge, use Doge Elon right now, because it takes too much to move the needle on the other one, on Doge. So, like, when he does these things, just make sure that you when you see him post about something that can be matched up to a crypto, get that crypto right now. Make sure you ride it to whatever that top is. Look for it to be an hour or two, maybe 3, and then take your profit and get out, and then move away. If you're already in Floki like I am, then add some more, and then take that out as profit, and fill your bag up just a little bit more. Like that's the that is the easiest crazy money that you can possibly make. I remember the last time he tweeted his pup, and I think it goes back to October or November, but the last time Elon tweeted a picture of his dog and called it Floki, Floki went up 15x. Like, that shit was crazy. Like, I went from because I think they paid me for a promo a long time ago, and it was like $750, and I put that $750 into Floki, and then it went crazy, and I pulled out like $9,000 and left $1,000 in, and then it dipped again, and then when it dipped again, I put that money back in. So I play the game the way I tell you. So anyway, guys, have a good night. Again, this is not financial advice. Always take your profits on the way up. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And remember one thing, and you said it, I am always right. Have a good night, guys.